Morning, guys. Steve up at the cabin, and it's a couple of days after Thanksgiving, and it is cold. We got some skim ice on the pond. It is in the 20s, and as you can tell, I got my cap, the scarf, and the gloves on. It's not going to get too much warmer, and it's going to be tough to get my hands working to do stuff on the backhoe today. Last time we were up here, if you recall, we had a drought up here in Pennsylvania. We had no rain for like a couple of months. And I scheduled a welder to come up here to weld mechanical thumb on the backhoe. And of course, it's the first day we get rain in 2 months. But the guy was a real trooper. He came up here, he put a tent over it as best he could, and he got the job done. I mean, it's on there. Probably a little bit higher than I would like. I think he welded it and he kept it too hot, wasn't giving enough time to cool. And, you know, it's not closing all the way, but it's closing enough so I can put a pin through it and keep the thumb up for when I'm digging. So, all in all, it's done. And now I have the mechanical thumb on there to pick up boulders, pick up some trees. So that's going to be real helpful. Problem was, it was pouring while I was doing this, and it got dark, and he finished it, and that was it for the day. And it was just going to rain for days, so I couldn't stay. I couldn't get the backhoe to start. The battery was dead. Now, I don't know if you're welding on it, and he has it grounded off to the machine, if that would suck the juice out of the battery. I don't think so. But, you know, I didn't think I have a kill switch on the batteries. A switch to turn, disconnect the battery, and I didn't clip that off before he started welding. I don't think that should have had anything to do with it. I asked a friend that's in the auto body business, so there's lots of welding on cars, and he said that really shouldn't have done it. But now it's freezing, so I'm going to see if the thing will fire off. I got the start aid on it, which is just starting fluid, hooked up to the machine. I'm going to see if that'll help. If not, I'm going to try jumping it with the truck. If that doesn't do it, I'm going to have to get some batteries. Now, I noticed that, the last few times I've been starting it wasn't, firing it, over so quick. And this backhoe is new to me. I don't know how old this battery is that's in there. And I guess we're going to find out. So let's see if we can't get this thing fired up. Well, that's a no-go. So, batteries in there. I gotta take these four bolts off. Lift up the top. See what we got in the way of batteries. And the first order of business I'm gonna try is to jump it with the truck, get it running, see if you charge the batteries a little bit, shut it down, and see if she'll restart. If the batteries are no good, then I'll just have to run down to auto start and auto stop, and whatever the hell it's called, I don't recall. But there's one in town. I'll be able to get a battery or two, and we'll go from there. All right, we got 2 batteries in there, like I figured in there. It's a tight fit, so if I have to get batteries, I'm gonna have to make sure they fit in there. All right, let's see if we can jump this thing. Okay, this is the kill switch, and when you open this little door down here, you stick your hand in there, and well, turn it off. And there's one battery underneath, and there's a second battery. So we're just going to try to jump it right now and see what happens. And I'm trying to be neat. I've already used these jumper cables a couple of times, but I got them when I got the truck a couple years ago. Because they're extra long. You know, sometimes you get in difficult situations, you got to help somebody, like on the side of the road. The way to design these is if you pull up behind somebody and you go through the whole length of the car in front of you to put the jumper cables on. I actually use these to check the starter on the ride-on mower in an old video. All right, negative first. These are not very heavy-duty cables. I mean, they're heavy enough, but the clamps don't open up big enough. All right, let's fire up the truck. I got the truck has 2 batteries. It's got a heavy-duty alternator. Hopefully this will help. Almost. Let's give it another shot. Right, that did it. So the plan is I'm gonna run her. We'll try out the thumb by moving some boulders. And when we're done doing that, we'll bring the tractor back, the backhoe, put it where I normally park her, turn it off, and we'll see if she restarts. If she restarts, we'll stick with the batteries. If she doesn't, I'll just run and get a couple of new batteries. See, the thing is, it's not like I have to have this working, you know, at a moment's notice. I have a land clearing project with some fruit trees I want to plant. I was thinking about getting that done this winter. The battery cover just fell off the cot. Probably not a good place to put it. But I don't need it right away. If I come up and I want to start that project and it doesn't start, I get to replace the batteries then. All right, let's button this up, put the tools away. I'll bring it back when we are ready to move it and start moving some boulders with the new mechanical thumb. Okay, see the alternator light's coming on, and I got a gauge, and it's saying it's only putting out like 8 or 9 volts. So that's not good. And the oil light's going on when I bring up the revs, which is strange. I mean, I know the motor's not hurt. It's also really cold, so I'm gonna let it warm up a little bit. I'm gonna put it, it's also the catch, the latch for the boom is also frozen. That's from the rain and then it's freezing, so I'll just hit that with a hammer a couple of times, that'll loosen it up. But I don't think I'm gonna mess with it because I don't want to bring it over there and have it die in the middle of the woods and not be able to fix it I don't have to have it working now, and it's too friggin' cold for me to be working on it in the middle of the woods. So let's see what happens as it warms up. I'm gonna put it in its safekeeping space over here, and we'll do something else. All right, so I let it run for a while, and the voltmeter was saying like 9 volts, and you know, the electronics in the backhoe aren't working right, you know. So I think you know, when the guy was welding on it, maybe it screwed up the electronics somehow. I don't know. Or maybe the alternator just finally failed. You know, so I'm gonna have to take the alternator out, and hopefully I could, you know, I'm new to the whole heavy equipment thing. You know, get it, I like to have the original one probably remanufactured, as opposed to getting a replacement one. And hopefully that will cure it. I was glad that I put it away so that I didn't get stuck out in the woods with it when it, you know, finally killed the battery. So I'm gonna hit the battery disconnect so I don't do any further damage to it. And what I will do is, I got my Grandpa Gus's mouse repellent pouches, so I'm gonna put a fresh one in there to keep the mice out of it. I haven't seen any, and I have no reason to believe any has been in there. I haven't seen any evidence, but a little bit of prevention. I don't know how much I paid for this. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the description. But it's Grandpa Gus's mouse repellent pouches. It's got like a plant oil smell. So, you know, I forget how many of these you have, but when you stop smelling it in the cab, just toss another one in there. So it is freezing. I'm not gonna do a complete antifreeze swap over. The antifreeze that's in there is clean. It's just a pad on the weak side for my liking. So I'm gonna drain out like a gallon of what's in there and put in straight high guard John Deere antifreeze, 1 container, and that should be plenty for the winters up here. This is Pennsylvania. I mean, it gets cold, but you know, I'm protected down to -7, so I add 1 full container of straight antifreeze. That'll get it down plenty, so that I don't have to worry about the block cracking or anything. All right, let's get to work. Okay. That's it. Got a bunch of these pouches. When to replace. Swap this pouch with a fresh pouch when the scent diminishes or within 90 days. It's probably been at least 60 days, but it's not as stinky when I first open up the door when I get in, so. That's it. All right, I'm going to turn off the battery switch, and we're going to drain out some antifreeze. All right, guys, well, the plan was to empty out some antifreeze and just add some straight antifreeze to drop the protection down from -7. But I had forgotten, in order to open up the access panel, you have to raise the bucket. Can't raise the bucket because I can't start the backhoe because we got, you know, no juice in the batteries because the alternator's not working. So, I mean, I could jump the backhoe again It'd probably fire up. Now that it's warm, it might be a good idea to do that. I thought about it. I was just gonna blow off doing the antifreeze, but it would bother me. I wouldn't have peace of mind, and I'd be checking the weather. Oh, how cold is it tonight? So we'll jump it one more time, get it running, lift it up. We'll suck out, I'll get my siphon tube, and I'll suck out a gallon and replace it with some straight antifreeze. And then I'll be able to rest easy, and we'll worry about the alternator when it gets warm enough, I guess. You know, the problem, you know, and the thing is, it's December, so it's not going to be warm enough till, you know, we're going to wait through the whole winter. All right, let's get to work. All right, she fired right off. All right, let's lift it up, open up the hood. It's nice and clean. Problem is, that's all I could siphon out. Now I can't find the top to that bottle. I got a bunch of empty bottles in there. I can always use one of the other ones. All right, just to give it plenty of protection. I don't have to worry about it freezing over. And come springtime, I'm going to do a lot of service on this backhoe. I probably should have done it before it got really too cold, but I'm not really going to be using it, so we'll be all right. Okay, well, I found the cat to the bottle. It was on the big tire. And, yeah, I hit the little voltmeter showing still like 9.9 volts. So, yeah, the alternator is right there, and it's easily accessible. I should be able to get it off. You know, I'm not going to do it now just because my hands aren't working. It's too friggin' cold. And I don't really need it. You know, the only thing I really need it for real is when they finally bring the modular home up the road, I have to yank the 6x6s at the front gate because they're too close together. So, I mean, I got the farm jack, but that's way too much physical labor, and I don't think it'll be that easy. So, I am going to need this when the time comes. So I'll find out. I don't think it's coming anytime soon. I think it'll be in the springtime. So I definitely have to be able to come down here, hop in, fire up, go down there, and yank the 6x6s. So I'm not really too worried about that because I can replace an alternator. I can get this thing running. I'll be able to get the 6x6s out. It's not that big of a deal. So far for today, that's it on the backhoe. I'm going to do a separate video on a quick connect grease gun fitting. And but that's it for today for this thing. I'm a little discouraged, as you could tell from my attitude. I really just was hoping it was just, you know, juice taken out of the battery. I was hoping I could just fire it up and get it started and everything would be, you know, as good as gold. But, you know, may actually be cheaper to replace the alternator as opposed to the two batteries. And easier, because the batteries are a really tight fit and they're heavy. The alternator's right there, and I could probably yank it out in, you know, 10, 15 minutes. Now I just got to find somebody that can rebuild that thing, you know? All right, guys. Thanks for following around with me today, and I'll see you next week.